About 5 or 6 years ago, I had this YouTuber straight call me out. His name was Joaquin Ryan. The dude straight called me out, called me grilled cheese. It made me so mad. I was so offended, straight triggered. For a while there, I was like, why am I letting this guy get to me? I started to take it real personal. I couldn't let it go, and I was like, why am I so mad? Why am I so frustrated? And I think deep down, it was because I knew he was right. He offended me, but he was right. I think the reason why I was just getting so emotional was because at that time, I was a soy boy, right? I was grilled cheese. So the point that I'm trying to make here is, even though I was very offended at that time, I kind of took a step back from the whole situation, and I tried, for the first time ever, I tried to kind of look at it from his perspective. I tried to look at it from the outside looking in, right? And so when I humbled myself and I kind of just came to the realization that this guy he's actually right, it gave me that self-awareness that I never had before. And so one thing that I learned from this whole scenario from Joaquin Ryan is just don't be so easily offended, my brothers. Take a second to maybe look at that person's perspective. And hey, look at that person, like Joaquin Ryan. Yeah, he didn't come at it the right way. He came about it in a dick way. But he was right. And I had to listen. And look at me now, bro. I used to be grilled cheese, and now I'm a little less grilled cheese. I'm not saying I'm like some straight Giga Chad, but I'm working on it. Now I have a little more self-awareness, and that's because I had to open myself up. I had to open my mind. I had to put myself in his shoes, see where he's coming from, and not just close off the idea because I'm just totally offended, right? So Joaquin, if you're ever watching this, bro, hey, I appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate you calling me out. It was the best thing for me at that time. Yeah, I was freaking pissed at you. But now I can look back and be like, hey, thank you, bro. Seriously, I needed that. And I learned that we need brothers in our lives to slap us upside our heads sometimes. I know I say that a lot in my videos, but it's so true. I don't think it's getting through to a lot of you guys, just being real. Like I've said in previous videos, the times where I was most offended in my life, those were the times where I had the most growth. The times where my dad was up in my face saying, hey, you can't be acting like that. I remember one time, I was hired to do this job at this seminar. It was like a 3-day seminar thing where I was supposed to film it, It was for like some relationship rekindle the flame type seminar. And one of the days I woke up a little late. I was like, 20 minutes late, 30 minutes late. And they had already done this very important message early on in that morning, and I was late to it and I missed it. I didn't film it. And my dad, bro, was furious. He was a part of the event. He had one speaking engagement that he had later that day, but he was furious because the main guy of this event was like, hey, where's your son at? And that it made my dad super embarrassed, and just like his son wasn't taking care of business. And so that whole day my dad was pissed. But from that whole day forward, and from pretty much anything else I did later in life, I always remember back to that moment, and I always remembered, hey, I don't ever again want to have my dad disappointed in me like that again. It just lit a fire up under my butt. Yeah, I was offended when my dad said that. I got all pissed and I was like, all butthurt. But I remember I had my friend Justin with me that day, and he's like, bro, your dad's right, dude. He's like, I remember him going like this. He's like, here's the ball, bro, right in my face. He's like, here's the ball. You dropped it, bro. We both kind of laughed, but he was right, and I was like, yeah, no, Justin. I was like, you're right, bro. Being a man of your word is your bond, and I gave that word that I'd be there every morning recording those videos, and I broke my word. I broke my bond. And I had a message on this about a month ago on my second channel, I think Day by Dre, but I talked about how back 1,000 years ago or so, when a man gave his word, that basically meant like he was giving his life. He was basically saying, if I don't keep my word, you can take my life. That's how significant someone's word meant back then. These days, us men, we just throw around our word loosely. It holds no weight. If we say promise we're gonna do something and we don't do it, it's like, whatever. I mean, how many of you guys have, gotten a text from your friend last second and he says, oh, sorry, bro, can't make it? Or better yet, how many times have you done that to somebody? I know I have. I know I've done it more times than I'll admit to. And so, I feel like us young men, we need to rise up. This generation, man, we need to bring back masculinity in its truest form. And that masculinity, it starts with your word. Ancient warriors, when they would go in and try to conquer a kingdom, conquer a new piece of land, you know what they would do? They would burn their boats, which basically meant like there's no turning back. There's nowhere for us to go. We either go in and we conquer, or we at least die trying. And I think we should apply that same method to our bond, to our word. You're either gonna do it or you will die trying. If you don't have no weight to your word, I mean, what kind of man are you? How is your family going to trust you? How is your wife going to trust you? How is she even gonna look at you and feel safe? How is she gonna look up to you as the man, as the leader? She's not. She's gonna look at you like a freaking weasel. Your friends are gonna look at you like a weasel. Nobody's gonna take you seriously, especially in business. Oh yeah, that guy, dude. That guy, he talks a lot, but he says he's gonna do that, but he ain't gonna do it. Forget that guy. It's funny, man. These days, men, they want the rewards of manhood. They want their wives to look at them like a king, to treat them like a king. They want their wives to willingly desire them and want to satisfy them sexually. These days, men want to be leaders in their business, leaders in their city, leaders in their family. They want all these rewards, but they want the responsibilities of a young child. They don't want to have to put in the work. And you can't have your cake and eat it too. So the best thing for all you young men out there, including myself, is to have some self-awareness. Be okay with being offended sometimes. Sometimes it is good to be offended. Usually there's always a little truth when someone offends you. You just gotta kind of chew on the meat, spit out the bones, and find what the person's really trying to say, and not get so easily offended by their approach, by the way they are saying it. I know that's a hard thing to do. I know, especially for us men, the number one thing that we want is respect. But if you want respect, you have to be respectable, right? And to be respectable, it starts with having some self-awareness. There's been times in my own life where I've had to look in the mirror, dude, and be like, really look at myself and be like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing, Dre? You're acting like a complete fool. You're a freaking... I've even, honestly, just being transparent with you guys, I've cussed at myself a few times. I said, what the fuck are you doing, Dre? You're an idiot, bro. I've had to tell myself, Dre, stop being a soy boy. You know what soy boys are? Soy boys are little emotional guys who are real tender and get real offended by every little thing someone says. They're the guys who say, oh my gosh, you can't say that. That's socially unacceptable. Don't be a soy boy. Don't be easily offended. Stop taking everything personal. Stop feeling freaking bad for yourself. Get up and take action in your life. Take responsibility. In this day and age, we're always looking at what everybody else is doing wrong, what the government's doing wrong. One thing I always do is blame the algorithm on why a video is not performing or whatever, you know? That's what we do. That's our natural instinct is to blame everybody else, blame our president, blame this, blame that. When really it's like, stop blaming and start looking in here. Stop looking outwardly and start looking inwardly. What can I do better? The world ain't gonna change on its own. It starts here, my brothers. It starts from within. It starts at home. Men are made, I heard this the other day, men are made at home. This is part of my notes. It says, a man's greatest title is not Dr. So-and-so or Professor So-and-so. It's not Mr. President. His greatest title is husband, father, friend, and mentor. So if you young bucks can get that embedded in your head right now, this is gonna kickstart your manhood. This is gonna put you at a level way above everybody else. Being a man is not about your title out in the world and how the world sees you. It starts at home, how your family sees you. Are you a great son? Are you a great brother? Are you a great husband, father, friend, mentor? That's the stuff that truly matters. That's where it starts. That's where it begins. If you can get that right, then God's gonna bless you with more opportunities to start influencing now the world, right? But to have failed at home, firstly, to have failed at home is to have failed everywhere. So, hey, if you guys dug today's video, you got a little something from it, then check out this video right here. It's very important that you guys hear this video, hear this message. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel for more no BS videos like this, hit that like button. That'd mean the world to me. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace always.